This episode of Lawyers Tell All is brought to you by the Intake Academy. Do you know how to cement relationships with more of your ideal clients, get them to commit to you, and send you more referrals than you ever thought possible? Visit www.intakeacademy.com, where you will get the strategies you need to make the most of your marketing and advertising dollars. Plus, develop a team of intake specialists and attorneys who convert more qualified case opportunities and build meaningful relationships with prospective clients. Welcome to the Lawyers Tell All podcast, where Chris Mullins, the preeminent sales and communications consultant in the legal industry, shows you how it looks through lawyers' eyes. Here, innovators in the trenches provide powerful insights that help you connect with new clients, handle the sometimes harsh realities of the legal profession, and embrace the mindsets needed to succeed. Be sure to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, lean in, tune in, and let's take a deep dive.
Hello, everybody. It's Chris Mullins with Lawyers Tell All, and I'm with attorney Henry Reaves. Wonderful interview for you. I can't wait. Henry, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Hi, I'm Henry Reaves, born here in Memphis, Tennessee. Started practicing law in 2009, spent 2 years at an insurance defense firm, and then I started my own place in about 2011. And we've kind of continuously grown it, and we're now basically the preeminent law firm here in Memphis, Tennessee, as far as plaintiffs' personal injury. Maybe 90% of what we do, 95% of what we do will be some type of automobile accident, automobile wreck. Purely plaintiff's side.
Okay, and I read tell us about the starting your practice in your daughter's bedroom. I want to hear that story.
Oh, man. So I guess when I was starting off, you know, the first place where I was at an insurance defense firm, I was working there. I worked there for a couple of years, and it was just really just like it really like drained my energy. It was almost kind of like a soul sucking type experience, because all I was doing basically was keeping poor people from getting paid. Like that was my job. So if I can get them to take less than they're actually entitled to, that's like a pat on the back. And so when I went into my practice, I decided I wanted to be a plaintiff's attorney. I didn't start out just trying to open up my own practice. I went to every play. I interviewed at the Cochran firm, at Morgan & Morgan, at NST, our local places, and I didn't get an opportunity. And the last place I went to when I was talking to them about when I was for the defense side, me having roots in Memphis, being born in Memphis, I had lots of people who were coming to me asking for attorneys, asking for a plaintiff's attorney. And, they would come to me when they got in a car wrecks. And I told them, like, I can bring all this business to your firm if I could just have the opportunity. And I believe they thought that I was, prevaricating or just, being a salesman to try to get a job. And they told me, well, if you can do all that, what do you need us for?
Right.
In that type of way. And that was pretty much the last interview that I had. And so I started out my law firm. Originally, it was in my daughter's bedroom, and my wife was still a teacher. So for a lot of the first part of my practice, I had to watch the kids, watch my two younger boys too. So I might have a baby on my chest and, one over here. And, we were just pretty much doing everything I could do to make it happen. We ended up getting our first shop maybe about 2012, 2013. We moved into an office off of Elvis Presley Boulevard, maybe a mile from, I don't know if they heard of a little place called Graceland out here in Memphis, but maybe about literally on Elvis Presley Boulevard.
Yeah, right.
On the King Street, we were less than a mile away. And so we've just really been blessed and have just experienced growth year over year after that.
Yeah, and also, let's see, 2021, you've had the largest number of new client sign-ons to date.
Oh yes, like I said,
Wow.
it's year over year. We've had continued growth. Right now, we have about 20 attorneys who are with us,
Mhm.
about 90 staff in total, and it's just a long, far cry from me being the only person in my daughter's bedroom, and so there's
Yeah.
been a lot of things that we've learned along the way, and we're just really, really grateful to be in this position because a lot of people, there's been lots of great attorneys, lots of smart attorneys, smarter than me that have started and tried to open up law firms, and they haven't been blessed to, for their business to last 11 years and
Yeah.
12 years and continue to grow. So I'm just very gracious and humbled by the success.
So what do you think it is, at least for you, that makes you be so successful? Because it's really been a short period of time. It hasn't really been that long. It's like,
Yeah, I think having a having humility. I mean, I think that's kind of a huge part. It's having confidence in myself
mhm,
of what I'm trying to do and stuff like that. But at the same time, having humility. And when you have humility, then that means that you can listen to people who've been there before. That means that you're able to be self-aware of yourself. That's means like you're able to say, look in that mirror and say, hey, I might need to, I might need to shapen up. I might need to tighten up. And so I think that having that humility, great customers, and I think that's been a very huge part. I've also been very, very active in my community, and so I
mhm,
never try to make it just all about business. So karma is real. A lot of times you put good stuff out there, good stuff will
mhm.
come back to you.
And volunteering and doing good things is a great way to kind of keep yourself on the straight and narrow and always doing the right thing. So what about building a strong culture? How do you do that?
I mean, so for us, if you look at our situation is unique. Most law firms, 99% of the law firms in America are probably not going to have my trajectory and do the things that, and grow in the way that I grow. So one of
Mhm.
the things that was always important to me that allow us to scale and allow us to grow because you can die from success as well. Like you can when you're inundated and flooded with too many clients and,
Yeah.
you don't have the proper screening procedures and stuff like that, you could easily get top heavy and you can crash out. So one of the things is I definitely have a strong belief in data and processes and systems. So a lot of the stuff that we do have to rely on processes. We do have to rely on data. We can't practice the same way when we're signing, 20 cases or 30 cases as we are, if we're signing 200 cases. It's a completely a different type of practice. And to be able to lean in on these processes, these data and these metrics, it really allows us to have a 20,000 foot view. And as a CEO of a large company, anything that's a high volume,
Mhm.
the only way that a CEO or a COO or anyone can navigate a ship like this is they got to have some pretty strong data that they're looking at to kind of make the decisions and make the moves. You've
Yeah.
completely outgrown the point where you can make gut decisions and just make moves off of your gut because now
Yeah.
as you continue to grow, you get so far removed from the day to day and you may not be working with every single paralegal, or you may not be working and
Right.
touching every case, or you might not be working and touching with every single lawyer. So, those gut things that you used to have to just spending time around in them and being able to make decisions, that kind of goes away and you just have much more of a reliance on data and processes and systems and procedures.
Yeah, and also I would imagine your team,
Yes.
having the right people and being able to trust that you don't have to be over them. They're going to do it. They're going to take care of it.
And that's the thing about it is, and the thing that allows you to know that you have the right team is data.
Mm-hmm.
Because even that's gonna come back. So like one of the first, I want to say the foundation, if you're going to try to do volume, is you have to master your data. You have to master your data. You have to know what your average sitting time is. You have to know, you have to be able to ask the right questions and remove yourself from the thinking with your gut. And, looking at your team and thinking you got a great team member because, you like them and they're smiling all the time and they're really fun. Like that might be a person who's going into their office and watching Netflix for 9 hours.
Exactly.
And then that person who you think is like, this person is a horrible worker. She's on a smoke break every 3 minutes and, they're not good at looking busy. Man, that might be your top producer. The person going out there taking smoke breaks every 15 minutes might be producing 10 times more than that person that goes into their office at 7 o'clock and stays till 6 and locks the door. And so, at a certain point, you're going to have to rely on something other than just your gut as you grow.
Yeah. And I think it's important for the team to know what the numbers are too, especially their own individual personal numbers. How are they doing? Do you do that too? You talk to your team about your numbers?
Yeah. I mean, the way that we are, I don't personally, I speak with, I speak with the leads and we kind of go over the numbers of their departments, but the leads in their departments, they break it down. They have weekly meetings with their team members and they talk to them about, the numbers and things like that. I think it's also very important that as opposed to just being like numbers, that we really try to explain to them exactly what those numbers mean and what we're trying to do in this process and what we're trying to avoid by these processes. So we've never been a place of just like, like sometimes if you ask your parents, like why, they'll say, because I said so. They tell you to do something, you say, why? And I've never believed in practicing or being like that because a lot of times, here comes the humility piece again, is I can have someone who has an associate degree and, they might be in intake and I might have a process or idea and I come to them and I tell them, if I tell them to do it and they say, why? And then if I say, because I said so, like that doesn't give them the opportunity because if they say, well, I want to do this, I say, well, I want to do this because it makes a better, client experience. Well, that person could say, well, you know what? If you're trying to have a client experience, this process can make it even better. So that's why you believe in kind of letting the team know and, and having the humility to make sure that you're listening to a good idea that comes from, from anywhere, because any business at the end of the day is going to live, strive, and survive. It's going to be the people inside that business are going to make it, are going to make it turn, are going to make it go. There's not any business owner in the world who has any type of, large business that created that business by themselves. They created that business without a team that maintains and runs that business, without the right team. So, it's definitely going to be the right people selecting, hiring. And I think also is being able to identify the people who are not the right people and trying to put them in a position to succeed with you or elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's important too. First to see if there's another place where they can go. Maybe it was the wrong hire for that job, but they've proven themselves to work really hard. I mean, most important thing I think is to hire for attitude.
Yes.
And you can train, you can do the skills. You got to just hire for attitude and character and test it and don't hire so quick all the time.
Yes. What's that book? Hire Slow, Fire Fast?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. But everybody deserves to have the right kind of training. So you got to make sure that you do that too. You can't just like put people in seats and just keep going and going and going. It's not going to work.
And I got to tell you, man, I feel like, you have definitely been a godsend, with your training and, a lot of the stuff that you've done with the, just you're the intake guru. And I think one of my, keys to my success too is that's part of surrounding yourself with the right team is, just finding you, let me see, 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
six,
It was a
six,
while, maybe longer, maybe a little bit longer.
seven, six,
Maybe,
seven.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, something like that. And so, if you, when you realize what you need and what you want to teach and stuff like that, humility will also tell you go out and find the expert. Like if you don't have humility, then you're going to think that you can do it all and you can
Yeah.
train all and you're the best person for every position and every job. And then you end up making yourself into the bottleneck. Like
Mm-hmm. Yes.
you become the top. You become the lid to your organization
Yeah.
because you don't have the humility to say, well, you know what? Maybe it's someone better to, do my media buying.
Right.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
someone
right.
better who can do this. Maybe it's someone better, who could manage, this team of people on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's someone better that can handle this particular case with this particular set of facts and this particular, set of law. So
Yeah.
you really need to try to strive to kind of have this self-awareness so
Yeah.
you can do it and you can also, not pull your hair out and go crazy
Yeah.
trying to do it all.
And to to support your team and allow them to make mistakes, allow them to make decisions, allow them to make mistakes, and just to kind of recognize the people that are really rising and give them that recognition. And then maybe they can help and teach the ones that are not rising as quickly. Maybe they can kind of bring them along a little bit more. And one of the things that you talk about a lot in your videos, I don't know if it was a YouTube video or it might have been a YouTube video, or an interview, but you talk a lot about empathy. And I know you believe empathy is critical. How do you think empathy plays out with your team at the office?
Mm-hmm. I feel that I'm in a very, very good position, to have empathy because almost everyone there, like I've kind of done some aspect of it. So I think that empathy is extremely important. And so and that's the thing is you have to make sure that you draw the line between empathy and also don't put yourself as a business owner, don't put yourself in a position to be manipulated.
Right.
Because any too much of anything can be bad.
Yeah.
And so for the empathy thing is you need to have empathy and you need to understand exactly what people are going through and how they're going through. And I don't think many employers have issues with empathy. Even the ones who do have issues with empathy, like right now in this current market, like they're learning empathy.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Like, because man, they got people, you can go to McDonald's now and make $22 an hour. So it's like everybody is trying to get, everyone's fighting to try to get the right employees and the right team members and stuff like that. So even people who had no desire to please their team or they weren't getting empathy people. Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, times are changing. They're empathy people now.
Yeah, they definitely are. Speaking of that, what do you think about remote workers?
I think that remote. I think that it's not a matter of if, but when. But it's just a question about doing remote right. And so, like, I wouldn't even think about remote if I didn't have my data correct. If you didn't have the proper metrics, if you're not on top of your game with your metrics, with your data to really monitor their performance. And then, a thing that I found out because our law firm, when we went through the virus, when we went through the corona pandemic, is we were one of the first offices, one of the first business in Memphis that just went completely remote. And so we went completely remote. We were remote for almost 2 years. almost, and we're just coming back. We've been back for less than a year now. And so for remote, if you can make it work, that's going to be great. But one thing that I did find out is that people start missing that human interaction and that teamwork. So I think that what it looks like a remote that works, I think you have to figure out some type of hybrid as to where you can still keep that team feeling and team energy and still see each other. And I don't know if it's 1 or 2 day work week or 3 day work week, but I feel that it's important. I feel that it's very important to maintain some type of touch points with your team.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of them with remote. I mean, we say a lot with remote, but we really should be doing it even without remote, touch points with your team. But I think team members should have to qualify to work remote, to see if they can do it. Do they have the right personality to do it? One thing that I see is a lot of businesses, not just law firms, they're just kind of winging it and then just letting everybody work from home. And that's a big mistake. Everything's going to fall apart if you don't have protections in place. I mean, it's crazy. People show up.
That's a big
blankets.
Mistake. I mean, I think one thing is like for the thing that the pandemic did is it kind of showed employers like, you're going to have to do more for your employees than just a paycheck because a lot of places they can go to get a paycheck. So you're going to have to find some way, to provide them, some other types of benefits. If it's even if it's social benefits or it's something that they feel, good about, they're part of something that's larger or part of something that's bigger. It's really, really, really going to be one of the top concerns for any business owner at this point who's going to be out here looking to hire a workforce is, now it used to be a time when you interview people. Now people are interviewing you.
Yeah.
So it's all right. Well, what are you bringing to the table? What are you going to give? And the people, and we just have to accept it. It's a lot of people want to talk about the younger generation and, this generation isn't like ours. Like, well, my generation, our generation or whatever, we used to have to, we were like, put in your time, do your dues, shut up, put your head down, work. And, you do this amount of time, you earn it, you get it. Well, now people are growing up in a society where like, I could go online and sell ebooks and make, 3,000 a month, or I can be a YouTube influencer and I can review different types of butter that comes out and I can, I can rank butter that comes out and I can make, like, there's like the internet opening it up to prior to the website, prior to the internet, like the way that people made money is they either, had to do something physical, like with the earth or with their hands, things around them, or they had to go to a job.
They had to work.
Yeah, they had to work. They had to work. But now, it's a lot of different options. And also because of the ease of getting employment, there's not like this. I don't know if there's this drudgery. If someone is just there for the money, there's not this drudgery of, oh my God, if I lose this job, what am I going to do?
No, it's next.
Yeah. I go to Amazon. Amazon is hiring right here.
Yeah.
This place is hiring over here. So it's, it's a different time. It's a different place.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final words for the small or medium law firm out there?
Oh, yeah. I would say that, so if you're if you're a medium, small or medium law firm, like one of the most important things right now, more so than ever, is picking the right team. Getting the right people with you. And if you're in a position that you can float it, hey, overpay if you have to, because employees, if you think about employees, it's your report card, right? And so if you only have 3 classes, like that D is going to hurt you a lot more than if you got 50 classes. Like that D is going to kill your GPA. Yeah. It's going to kill your money. It's going to kill they're going to be touching, they're going to be touching so many of your clients because, the workforce is so little. Is you got to make sure that you select the right people. If you find the right people, if you got to take a loan or whatever you have to do to pay them, if you feel that they're the right people, man, hire them and put them in a position and watch what they can do for your company.
Hire the right people and keep the right people. So don't get complacent and think, I got the right people, I'm all set. No, you got to work it. You got to work at keeping them.
Oh yeah, it's a new day. You gotta work and keep them. They got options. It's options out here, Chris.
Yeah, right. They're gonna sit there in front of you and say, "Well, look, I got this one. Which one should I take?"
Oh yeah, and then if as you get success, now like when I was coming up, of course I would pick off employees from the big boys. And now, like one day you're gonna become the big boy, and people want to be picking yours off.
Exactly. Exactly. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Just work hard. All right. Well, thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Lawyers Tell All, where Chris Mullins takes you on a journey with lawyers in the trenches who show you the realities of what it takes to succeed in this chaotic, crowded, ever-changing profession. Remember to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on Lawyers Tell All.